It's always a good idea to put the hour in case you misplace your packet. You don't really need to worry about the topic, but today's date is 10/1/24. The reason we put that is so you can look in your Google Classroom and be like, when did we start this? So you don't have to look through all of the videos in your Google Classroom. You can just go back to when we started it to get an idea in case you're missing some things, right? A factor is a number. A number. Remember, if I'm writing it, you should be writing it. A number multiplied by another number. A number multiplied by another number, right? We know 2 times 4, bless you, equals 8. 2 and 4 are factors of 8, right? A number multiplied by another number to get a product. A number multiplied by another number to get a product. So if, this is the word if, 2 times, remember that dot stands for 5, 2 times 5 equals 10, 2 and 5, I just wrote F. 2 and 5, rather, 5 are factors. 2 and 5 are factors in this case because they multiply together to make a product. Okay? When we list all the factors of each number, so I asked you to list the factors of 24. That is not one of these, but I'm going to show you how I would do that. First of all, I would start with 1. 1 times what equals 8? 8. Very good. So I'm going to put the 8 way over here because I'm not sure how many factors I have in between there. Is 8 divisible by 2? Yes. So 2 times what equals 8? 4. The only number between 2 and 4 is what? What's between 2 and, thank you, 3. 3 is between 2 and 4, and is 8 divisible by 3? No. Lord help me. No, it is not. Please. Good gracious. This is why we worked on divisibility, right? So the factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4, and 8. Let's try it with number 20. 1 times what? Tell me. 20. Is 20 divisible by 2? Yes. So 2 times what? 10. Can 3 go into it? No. Good gracious. How about 4? Yes. 4 times what? 5. Very good. Is there anything between 4 and 5 that we could check? No, there's no numbers between 4 and 5. We're talking about whole numbers. All right. List all the factors of 5. You can do this. 1 times what? 5. Is it divisible by 2? Is it divisible by 3? No. Is it divisible by 4? So the only factors of 5 are 1 and 5. This is how we know that it is prime. If the only factors are 1 and itself. So this is a number greater than 1. So we don't call 1 prime for whatever reason. A number greater than 1 with no factors other than 1 and itself. So if its only factors are 1 in itself, that number is prime. So you could say 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and so on. All right. I'm gonna give you a minute to be sure you got that. Yeah, should be. Everything else would be divisible by 2, right? Very good. Okay. So when we look at the rest of these factors, we are looking at 1 times what gives me 54? 54. 1 times 54 gives me 54. So now I'm checking for 2. 2 times what gives me 54? It should, because it's even, so I know it's divisible by 2. So you might have to hop over here and say, how many times can 54 be divided by 2? This is how we do long division. Write it down and do it with me. How many times can 2 go into 5? 2 times, because 2 times 2 is what? 4. So I'm subtracting 4 from the 5. What's 5 minus 4? 1. Now what do I do? Bring down the 4. How many times can 2 go into 14? No. 7 times. 7 times 2 is 14. So 2 times what gives me 54? 27. Is it divisible by 3? What's 5 plus 4? 9. So is it divisible by 3? Yes. Do, 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 do. All right, how many times can 3 go into 5? Just once, right? 2 times would make it go over. 5 minus 3 is 2. Bring down the 4. 3 times what is 24? 8. So if we had our multiplication table out, we would have seen this one. So 3 times 18 gives me 54. How about 4? Well, since I know all the rest of these should be on my multiplication table, I'm going to try 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 20, 32, and 36, 40, 44. I have a 48 and a 52. I have a 52 and a 56, but no 54. So 4 doesn't work. Does 5 go into 54? No, remember those divisibility rules, right? How about 6? Yes, 6 times what? Very good, 6 times 9, because 5 plus 4 is 9. And then we have 2 more numbers to check. What numbers after 6? 7. Does 7 times anything give us 54? No, 7 times 8 is 56. So 7 and 8 do not work. So that is it. That's all of them. Okay? Try number 5. Remember, we start with 1. 1 times what? 64. Then you move on to 2. 2 times what? 32. Then you ask yourself, does 3 work? No. So then does 4 work? Look at your multiplication table if you need to. 4 might work though. I think 4 works. So 4 times what gives us 64? So if you're following your multiplication table, you're following the 4 until you get to 64. Our answer is 16. If you needed a refresher about division, 4 goes into 6 just 1 time. Bring down the 2. 4 goes into 24 6 times evenly. Okay. How about 5? Does 5 work? No. Does 6 work? No, because 60, right? Does 7 work? No. Does 8 work? Yes. 8 times what? 8 times itself. So we only have to list it once, and there's nothing between 8 and 8, so we are done. All right, want to do 96 together? All right, 1 and 96. 2 and, do we need to do it? 2 goes into 96. How many times can 2 go into 9? 3 times would only be 6. 4 times would be 8. So I'm going to put a 4 here and subtract an 8. Bring down the 6. How many times can 2 go into 16? 8 times. So this is 48 here. What about 3? What about 3? What's 9 plus 6? 15. 1 plus 5 is 6, so it should be divisible by 3. How many times does 3 go into 9? How many times does 3 go into 6? 32. All right. 1, 2, 3. How about 4? 4 actually works. 4 into 96. How many times could 4 go into 9? Only twice without going over, right? That brings down a 1. When we bring down the 6, 4 into 16 is 4 times. Good grief. So this is 24. And that was 4. Can 5 go? Can 6 go? It should be able to because, look, it was divisible by 2 and 3, so it should be divisible by 6. I'm going to use my multiplication table. 6 goes into 96 16 times. Oh, I'm running out of room. 6 and then 7. We can follow the 7. 98 and 91, not 96. And we can follow the 8. 8 is 96. That is 12 times. So 8 and 12. So we would have to check 9, which it doesn't work. We would have to check 10, which we know it doesn't work. And we would have to check 11, which we know it doesn't work. So those are the only numbers between there. So that had a lot of factors. All right. A dance class has 42 students. If the instructor wishes to split the class into groups of equal sizes, list the possible ways she can do this. So she could have one group of how many students? 42. She could have two groups of how many students? 21. She could have three groups of how many students? You can use this. Follow your 3 till you get to 42. Go up 14. Three groups of 14. Can she split 42 into 4 groups? No. Can she split 42 into 5 groups? No. Can she split 42 into 6 groups? Yes. So we could have 6 groups of 7. So there's no other factors between there, but we could go in reverse. We could have 7 groups of 6, right? We could have 14 groups of 3. We could have 21 groups of 2, right? We could have 42 groups of 1, but that wouldn't make sense because that wouldn't be groups. Okay. So that dance teacher has a lot of options. All right, a prime numbers and a composite number. What are we talking about here? So this is the same thing. It starts off the same, number greater than 1. That is not prime. So in other words, it has factors other than 1 and itself. All right. So these things would be like 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, and so on. I'll give you a minute for that. Give your hand a break for a second. All right. So would you say that 21 is prime or composite? Does it have more factors than 1 in itself? Yes, so we have to say that it is composite. So I'm going to just put a big C here. How about 13? Does it have more factors than 1 in itself? It is a prime. Well done, Amani. We're going to put a P here for prime. How about 95? We know it's divisible by what? It ends in a 5, so it's divisible by 5. So we know it has to be a composite number because that is more than 1 in itself. What about 147? This one's tricky. It's not even. But hold on. It is composite because if we add them all up, it's divisible by 3. I notice it's also divisible by 7. How about 169? Well, it's not divisible by 2 or 3. It's not divisible by 4 or 5. It's not divisible by 6. Is it divisible by 7? No, it's not. Is it divisible by 8? 9, 10, 11? I'm just looking to see if I can find this number on my multiplication table, and I do see it, actually. It's divisible by 13. 13 times 13. So we do have to say that it is composite. It's hard to check all those numbers though, isn't it? So our multiplication tables will come in handy this unit. It's okay, guys. It's just a B. It's not going to hurt you. You're bigger than it. What about 109? I'm looking at 109. It should be on my table if it is composite, but I do not see it anywhere. So I'm going to say this is prime. All right, questions about prime and composite. All right, let's do a little practice. I am just going to have you do on page 3. I want you to try numbers 1 through 6. So we're listing the factors. We just said that 13 was prime, so only 1 and itself. So move on to 2. Oh, look. This is the problem that was on your pre-quiz. List the factors of 24. So start with 1 in itself, right? Move on to 2. Is it divisible by 2? Move on to 3. Is it divisible by 3? Move on to 4, 5, and then you should be done with 24. All right. So do numbers 1 through 6 on page 3. When you're done, you should be working quietly in Alex. Remember, we should be between a 0 and a 1, so no talking or a whisper, please. I'll go over these in a few minutes. Be sure you try them out. Okay. So I know this is kind of small, but just follow along with me. If you're looking at the quiz question, you should know that 1 and 24 makes 24, right? Then you should know that it's even, so it is divisible by 2. 2 times what is 24? 12, right? We should also know that because 2 plus 4 is 6, it's divisible by 3. 3 times what is 24? 8. That's one we should know as well. 4 times what? 6. And then the only thing between 4 and 6 that we need to check is 5. Is it divisible by 5? No, so we are done. That was the answer to the first question on your quiz. Number 3, you should have said 1 and 45. 2 does not work. 3, well, 4 plus 5 is 9, so 3 times, and if I'm following this along here, 3 times what? 15 is 45. 4 doesn't work. 5 should work, right? 5 times what is 45? 9. That's definitely one you should know. And then I just need to try 6. No. 7. No. And 8. Also no. So that's it for 45. There's a lot for 60, right? 1 and 60. 2 and what? 30. 3 and 20. 4 and, if you're not sure, use this, 4 and 15. 5 and 12. 6 and 10. And then I'm checking 7, no, 8, no, and 9, no. Notice I have to check what's in between here. I don't need to check anything else after that. I'm doing it methodically. So 1 and 84, 2 and 42, 3 and, yikes, into 84, 3 into 84. This is twice, which is 6. So 18, 28. Is that right? Yes, 28, not 18. I don't know why I said that. 4 and 21. 5, no. 6. 6 and 14. These all look like multiples of 7 here, right? 6 and 14, 7 and what? 12? And then I'm just checking 8, no, 9, no, 10, no, and 11, no. So I'm just checking between the 7 and the 12, okay? 108, 1 and 108. 2 and 54. 3 and, again, I've got to figure it out. 3 goes into 10 3 times, which is 9. Bring down the 8. 3 times is it 6? Is 18. So this is 36. Does 4 go into that? Yes, it does. 27. Notice these are all multiples of 9. Interesting. 27 and 5, no. 6. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. Yes, 18. 7. I don't think so. 8. No. 9 is 12, and that's it. All right. Have a wonderful Tuesday.